What's going on, everybody? Welcome to The Drop. This is The Drop for Friday, May 22nd. Stick around. There's going to be an interview with a musician who plays with the band MELD. And Melanie, who leads the band, is also going to play a live piano performance for us and sing a song. So stick around for that. First, a couple of things we want to tell you about. Number one, Brent Raidmaker is on No Simple Road. So Brent is from Beechwood Sparks and Gospel Beach, and he heads up a record company called Curation Records. So they talk about his history with Neil Casal and Beechwood Sparks, talk about a lot about Grateful Dead, and about starting a record label. And the crew is always has fun conversations. So check that out and give that a listen. Number two, a new album from the band Escaper. So we got a heads up about a new album from this Brooklyn-based band. They're going to release the album on June 19th, and there's a single available now called Open Sky. It's really spacey, really groovy stuff. If you're not familiar with the band, check them out. There's a link in the show notes. Check out the single and then check out the album, which will come out next month. All right, number three, a stream starting at 2:30 p.m. today. There's going to be Delfest shows all day. So if you're missing Delfest like we definitely are, then you might want to check this out. I haven't thought much about Delfest because it's just too sad to imagine not being there. We usually go and do interviews and we hang out with our families, and it's usually just such an amazing weekend. And because it's not happening, I've been avoiding it. But I think I'll start now paying attention and thinking about Delfest. At 2:30, you can see Yonder Mountain from 2019. You can see Del McCurry Band from 2019 at 6 p.m. 8 p.m. you can see Marcus King Band from 2019, and then 10 o'clock p.m. is Railroad Earth from 2019 late night. It's sad not to be there, but I think this can help us all a little bit with the healing process. So check that out. That'll be streaming all day, and the link's in the show notes. All right, number four, 8 o'clock p.m. Grateful Dead from 1972 stream. So this is awesome. This is this week's Shakedown stream is from the Europe 72 run. This was recorded live in a TV studio called Beat Club, April 21st, 1972. This was on Grateful Dead at the movies a few years ago, but if you haven't seen it, I mean, this is the best Dead in my opinion. The pre-show will feature David Lemieux, Gary Lambert, and Sam Cutler, who was the tour manager during the 72 run in Europe. And if you haven't read about that time, you should. There's lots of books out there. Dennis McNally's is one of my favorites. But anyway, the Europe 72 stuff is among my favorite Grateful Dead. I'm excited to check out this stream. So check out the link in the show notes and check out some Grateful Dead. All right, finally, number five, I want to tell you about an interview with Melanie Dewey, a.k.a. MELD. And I'm going to bring you that interview in just a second. She has an upcoming album, which we talk about in the interview, and then she plays us a song live from her upcoming album at the end. She was really fun to talk to. We talked about her musical history and her mission with this band, which is to inspire unconditional love on and for the planet. Her music kind of has a mix of influences and sounds. There's a big band kind of gospel soul feel like Tedeschi Trucks. There's some neo-soul, progressive jazz, all with her really, really stunning voice. So let's get into that interview with Melanie and hope you enjoy it and stick around for the live performance at the end. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Here's the interview with Melanie. All right, I'm here with Melanie Dewey. Hey, Melanie.
Hello, how are you?
Good. We're going to talk about your project MELD. You are coming to us live from Nashville, Tennessee.
Yep, Nashville, Tennessee.
How are you faring down there during all this?
Well, I do think we've been pretty lucky to not get hit as hard as some of the other states and stuff, but it's definitely weird because man, Nashville is like the capital of live music. So you can't, there's nothing going on. It's like all of my friends that are musicians are just out of work chilling, but it's a good time to be creative, I guess.
Yeah. And so what have you been doing? Have you been spending your time writing? Because I know you've put together an album, MELD, which is coming out in August, but are you writing more stuff already, or how has that been working?
Yeah, so I've been I have a schedule now. So my roommates and I, we share this big room upstairs, which is behind the curtain here, but we have a big music room. So we each get 3 hours during the day.
Cool.
And so I've been coming up during my time to write, practice, get ready for, I have a single release show that's this Saturday, and we're doing some live streaming stuff. So I've just been, practicing, but like on the time that I'm not up here just doing music stuff, I've been working on the album, get everything locked in, and just kind of making sure that the vision is succinct. I have a lot of time to reflect, so I'm gonna make sure everything is all there.
Has it been hard to be creative during this time? I've talked to other artists who said that it, took a little while to figure things out or figure out routines before they were really able to like hunker down. What's it been like for you?
Well, that's so funny because I actually feel like I've been more creative than I've been in like years. Like, because, so, I mean, I just think that in general, like the way our society functions is kind of unique and interesting. But like, we're always running a mile a minute. And I have
Hmm.
like 4 side gigs I was doing to make money to have a flexible schedule so I could tour when I needed to.
Hmm. Hmm.
But you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I had a bunch of different jobs and I was kind of all over the place. And then I was able to get unemployment from one of my jobs. And so now I'm able to, like, it did take a minute. Like you said, it took a minute to kind of like clear out all that stuff.
Hmm.
Now that I'm kind of settled, I'm like, wow, like I got the first, once it started hitting, I was like, wow, I'm writing more songs than I've written in ever.
Awesome.
It's been good for me. I mean, obviously I want to play these songs, but
Yeah.
live, but
Right. Hopefully someday. Well, tell us a little bit for people who aren't familiar with your background. Like, how do you get into music? How do you start playing? What's your sort of musical history?
yeah, so I mean, I'm classic case of like literally been singing since I was like 4 years old, like playing since I was 4 years old. But I had was just like started being in bands in like high school, middle school, and then I went to University of Miami. So funny story, I started I studied opera in high school. So
Okay.
I actually auditioned for all my colleges as a classical voice performance major.
Wow.
And I got into a bunch of them. I even got like a full ride to Boston University, but University of Miami had a contemporary program. And like low key, I knew that I wanted to be a songwriter and do that stuff. So I was like, well, I'm gonna go there and put myself in debt and just learn
Hmm.
more about that. So I went there, great training. And then I shortly after that I moved to Nashville. So I've been in Nashville for about 4 or 5 years now. It's crazy.
Cool.
But yeah, I've just been singing. Yeah. Hmm.
And I noticed from reading through like the album that's coming up that you've collaborated with a lot of people on this album, and it seems like you've been collaborating with a lot of artists over the past several years. Have you been playing in a lot of different bands? Like what's been going on over the past few years?
Yeah. So really, it's like like Meld has been like the only band that I've been in, but I have
Hmm.
just like done some like singing for other people. And I did. I actually work on Ayla Nerio's management team. I don't know if you've heard of her.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
But I work with her, and then she like asked me to go on tour and do like 3 dates with her last year. So I went on the road and opened for her for a couple dates, and then just like little things here and there. I feel like as a musician, there's so many different pockets that we're in. But yeah, I've worked with lots of awesome people, and the big thing that I do aside from Meld is I do event production. So actually in Nashville, I put on shows, so like a lot of local shows. I've been pretty implemental in like a lot of the jam scene stuff that goes on here because
Hmm.
you think Nashville doesn't have a jam scene, but it does. And we the biggest thing I did, which was almost a year ago now, which was crazy, was like I put on a 2-day Woodstock 50th anniversary reunion show. Like not reunion show, that would have been crazy. Cover show.
Yeah.
Yeah, Santana was there.
Yeah,
No, I was
that's
kidding.
awesome.
No, we did. So all the bands in Nashville, I was like 14 bands I got together, and every single band chose an artist from Woodstock to cover.
Cool.
So it was really fun.
That's
And that
cool.
was so yeah, so I'm like I try to have my hand. I really believe in the power of live music. So
That's awesome. Well,
yeah.
a lot of our audience does too, and I do as well. So I'm glad to hear that. And Mel, there's some tracks you can hear now. I mean, really cool music. Really like I think takes a lot of different influences. Did you go into creating the first tracks in music for Meld with like a specific goal, or a set of influences, or was it just like the amalgamation of everything?
Yeah. Well, are you talking about the stuff that's like on my Spotify already, or?
Yeah, the stuff that people can, yeah, the stuff that's on your Spotify already.
Yeah. So, oh, yeah. Okay. So you're talking collaborations in regards to that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
So, first EP that I did, Zugma. Have
Mm-hmm.
you heard of that? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they live here, and
Mm-hmm.
they since gone on like a, I don't know, an indefinite hiatus, but Matt, their drummer, produced that EP, and then
Cool.
that was fun working with him. And I just wanted, it's funny because before, don't tell anybody this. No, you can. But I had a country album that's literally on Spotify. Like I did a full country album.
Wow. I didn't
And
know that. That's amazing.
under my name, like Melanie Dewey.
Yeah.
So that's the reason I changed the name, because I have a big love for bluegrass and country. So like I'm like, well, I'll just keep that as like my side thing. That can be like Melanie Dewey stuff. And then, but Meld is like the focus.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more community based. Anyways, yeah, so that stuff that I did on Spotify, I did with Matt Harris, and then I did a remix album, which was really fun. And I literally collaborated with DJs, like this guy from Austria, like
Mm-hmm.
he's like a resident DJ at like Electric Love Festival. Um, and that was pretty cool.
That is cool.
And I've collaborated with just a bunch of DJs on that. That was really fun. The band Afro Beta from Miami, half of their project did a remix. Who
Cool.
else?
And a lot of
Big,
those tracks are really popular on Spotify too,
yeah.
which is
Um,
cool.
yeah, it's funny. The DJ, the Felice, the Austrian
Mm-hmm.
DJ, that track just took off, and so now I'm actually like having to work with trying to fix the algorithm a little bit, because now on Spotify everyone sees like Meld, and it's like, all of my other songs that are like from my original EP are there, but the Felice song is the number one, and so everyone thinks I'm like associated with Austrian DJs.
which
It's
which is
crazy.
which is not a bad thing, but it's just how algorithms work. That's amazing.
It'll definitely fix itself, I think, with this album that's coming out. So, but yeah.
Yeah. So tell us about this album. This is coming out in August, right?
Yep, it's coming out
Is
in
is
August.
it done? Has it been done, or do you just work on it until August? How does that work?
It's pretty much done. Everything's mastered with the exception of one song, and it's just because I got picky and said this needs more harmonies. So I'm gonna record some more harmonies and get them
Cool.
mixed in. Um, but yeah, it's pretty much done. And then I have the idea to do like a spoken word intro piece and collaborate with hopefully some really awesome musicians and
Mm-hmm.
just get them involved and get them on the record. So that's gonna hopefully happen soon. Um, and that's that's it. So it's art wise, it's mostly done. The singles are done. It's just getting it out there.
That's cool.
I've been working on it for 2 years. Crazy.
2 years. So what did you want to accomplish with this album? Was it just like stuff you've been working on, or did you write with a specific goal in mind?
Well, I think because a lot of the stuff that people can hear on Spotify now, it's pretty poppy. I wouldn't say poppy totally, but there's pop elements to it. It's like cinematic R&B is what was calling it.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to just branch out. Like I like the cinematic, like fusion stuff, but especially with being a live band and an advocate for live music so much, I wanted to be able to do like a fully immersive live experience. So I wanted an album that reflected that, full horn sections, lots of harmonies, like a big band sound, but with a jam influence as well. So that I think, I think it's like I want to be making music for my people.
That's awesome. That's really cool, and that's a lot of the
Yeah,
world that we come from, the jam world, and it's cool to see
yeah,
like this kind of crossover in of different genres. Although
yeah.
maybe at this point that's just how music works. It seems like there's so much overlap between all these different genres. Do you see that more now than a few years ago?
100%. I feel like it's so funny when I launched my Kickstarter for this record, that was like the tagline was like fusion is the next frontier.
Mm.
Like everyone is doing, not like we hear the word fusion, we think jazz fusion, right? But
Mm-hmm.
that's not what I'm talking about. I'm like fusion of genres.
Mm-hmm.
Like people are just coming up with really unique sounds. And like I don't know about you, but I feel like most of the artists I found that I love and I'm just like amazed by and floored by, they're people that are doing something completely different usually,
Yeah.
or they have their own sound that's like catching and uniquely them. And so that's why I think fusion's so important, because it allows you to just be like, I'm not a what's the word? Static individual. Like of
Mm-hmm.
course I pop harmonies and melodies, but I also love like weird neo soul like grooves. I
Mm-hmm.
also
Mm-hmm.
horn sections, you know.
Yeah.
You can We're not like static individuals. We're very colorful people. So I think that
Mm-hmm.
like, fusion allows musicians to express who they are at their truest self, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. That's awesome. And I see music moving more and more in that direction from a fan perspective anyway, so
Absolutely.
much more crossover. And the production of this, so was it all recorded in studio? Did you have to do any of this during the like quarantine period, or was it all done in a studio before that?
Yeah, that was actually that's crazy. So I, for some reason, at the beginning of this year, I was like, I need to finish this. I had all the stuff that was done. I was like, January, February, I was like, all right, like locking in studio dates, like finished almost everything up. And on March 16th, I had my last session, which was the day before like right around the time everything started like hitting the fan.
Yeah.
Was panicking and mass panic. Like my band was like, all right, like, well, we're gonna go into the studio, we're gonna do it. And we all just like, did elbows and like stayed far away from each other. We're obsessive with hand sanitizer. And
Wow.
it ended up being one of the craziest and like most memorable experiences ever, because like we were all in this like apocalyptic, like we don't know what's gonna happen mindset, and yet we were still able to make music and I don't know, like do something like positive with that time. And we were like, wow, we're really grateful to be able to finish this album like at the last second.
That is crazy. I think that was the first day that I was actually like in quarantine, March 16th.
Yep, Monday.
Wow.
Yep,
So that's amazing. So if you'd been 2 weeks behind, you
yep,
would have been in a totally different place right now.
yep. I would have had to like outsource a bunch of people to record from their homes. Probably not the
Hmm.
same band. Probably would have to learn the parts all over again.
Wow. Cool. Well, that's exciting. So the album is called Meld, and it'll be out in August, as I mentioned. And do you wanna play us something from the album?
Yeah, I'll play the single that I'm releasing this Friday. That's cool.
Cool.
This is called Freedom. And yeah, let me see if this. Can you hear my piano?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. 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 Sounds good.
Perfect. All right, I'll go ahead. It's hard to admit the self abuse when you're too busy walking in somebody else's shoes. For 10 lovers for the bruises on my knees now. Oh, when I was the one that got down in an attempt to accept defeat. Oh, defeat. Pushed to the edge. That's when I saw rock bottom, oh, thrown into the lion's den. I knew I had to fight 'em. On the brink of insanity, I found my epiphany. I realized I don't need ammo. And just when I thought I was shackled for good, that's when I found my freedom. That's when I found my freedom. That's when I found my free. Honey, I am free. Yeah. Sometimes it's easier to stay chained, safe in the corner away from the blame. 'Cause if these beautiful fantasies don't play out, well, my head won't be forced to come down, from the clouds. Oh, a push to the edge. That's when I saw rock bottom. Oh, I'm thrown into the lion's den. I knew I had to fight 'em. On the brink of insanity, I found my epiphany. I realized I don't need ammo. And just when I thought I was shackled for good, that's when I found my freedom. 'Cause I was pushed to the edge. That's when I saw rock bottom. I was thrown into the lion's den, and I knew I had to fight 'em. On the brink of insanity, I found my epiphany. I realized I don't need him all. And just when we think we are shackled for good, I pushed the edge. I saw the bottom fall out from me, thrown into the lion's den. I knew I had to fight 'em. On the brink of insanity, I found my epiphany. I realized I don't need him more. And just when we think we are shackled, and just when we think, ooh, we are shackled, we find our freedom.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was great.
Thank you.
Really cool. And
yeah.
What's that?
I'm just glad we could do this.
Yeah,
this
it's
awesome.
really fun. I should have said before that in the materials that were sent over, it says that you're an artist on a mission to inspire unconditional love on and for our planet. And I think it seems like that track touches on that. Is that how does that theme play out on your album, or what do you want to accomplish with, on your songwriting?
Absolutely. I think that my biggest goal, so I say unconditional love because I think I think there's many kinds of love. There's universal love, there's brotherly love, there's romantic love, there's love between a parent and a child, many different kinds, but there's also self-love. And I think so if we started just like the micro, like the self-love, and give ourselves unconditional love, then we can start to understand and like have unconditional love for other beings, other things. And like if we look at the planet, the universe, it's like so much of ourselves is reflected in these things. So it's like, I don't know, I think like just having unconditional love for self and others is like the first step to really like loving the planet and actually like understanding how important it is to protect Mother Earth. Like, not to be hopeful about it, but seriously.
Yeah.
And so I definitely have like an environmentalist message. There's a couple songs on there. There's another single. The next single is gonna be called Water, and it's like I wrote it right when the pipeline stuff was all happening. It just talks about like my approach is kind of, it's not really as political as it is just to take like these elements and these things and just kind of highlight them and just remind people of the magic of nature and why it's so important.
Yeah. That's really cool. Well, I'm excited to listen to more of it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for doing this. So it was really fun to get, get like individual performances, but lots of people will watch and listen. So, but thank you for doing it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, this is really great. Your podcast is awesome. I've been taking a listen. So
cool. All right. Well, thank you. Part of it. Appreciate you saying that, and thanks for coming on. And for everyone listening, we'll put links, of course, in the show notes to where you can listen to Meld and keep your eye out for this single that comes out on Friday, and then the album that comes out in August.
Yes, thank you so much.
Cool. Take it easy.
Yes, you too. Bye.
Bye.